Welcome back to the Line Table. We have a special panel with us this week to talk about cyclist and pedestrian safety. Don, you mentioned earlier only one incident in 6 years riding a bike. Do you feel safe in Albuquerque? Do you feel safe with drivers in Albuquerque riding a bike? Are you generally feeling okay about it?
Yeah, I generally don't, I'm pretty casual about it. I just hop on my bike and go. And, I know the routes I'm going to take. Like I picked my route to the station today because I was biking here.
Right.
And so I generally feel like, it's not any more dangerous than driving my car.
Sure. And Overstreet, for the group, for Bike ABQ, is there a sense that biking is safe here in Albuquerque, or less safe, or equally as safe?
There's a sense that generally it's a wonderful place to cycle, but unfortunate things happen, and that overwhelms, and it becomes the focus that it's not safe. Mm-hmm. Don makes a good point that picking your route is important, and we do recommend doing that. As far as getting comfortable with riding, learning that you do need to be more aware. You can't just hop on your bike and just casually go around. You need to pay attention. Sometimes you have to take extra measures, such as planning your route, avoiding some areas, and watching out for people who are not watching out for you.
You just anticipated a question. How important is it for bikers to think like a driver? To literally put themselves behind the wheel in the situation and say, what's this person going to do here, and what do I need to do to have a good result here?
Personally, I'm a multimodalist. I travel by car, by foot, bus, bike, and motorcycle. And as such, I find myself, no matter how I'm traveling, anticipating what everybody else is going to do and how I would react and respond. I'm also looking for distracted drivers, which is happening far too often. I'm anticipating road conditions. That's a big thing that can cause a problem, because as a cyclist, you're riding along, everything's fine, you encounter a major pothole, you encounter glass, you're going to do something that's unexpected, not predictable, which then can cause some problems to those around you. So it's important as a cyclist to be safe yourself and anticipate what people are going to do. Might slow you down a little bit.
Sure.
Get you
But
there safely.
Too, right? Exactly right. It's interesting, Melissa, how we all have our responsibilities as bike riders, walkers, car drivers, but concentrating on just drivers here for this section for a little bit. The city, the efforts you're trying to do is to help the driver be more aware and be more safe. Am I interpreting that correctly?
Yes, that is correct.
Tell us about that. With new striping, all the different things you can get a driver to kind of think more about bikers and walkers.
Well, obviously, everyone has a responsibility on the road. They need to look out for each other and follow the rules of the road. But for the most part, we want motorists to see bicyclists and pedestrians alike. What we've started to look at different treatments is, some green paint to kind of signalize this is a bike lane. We're at our MLK project, we're looking at bike boxes with the green paint, which
What is a bike box?
A bike box will allow the bicyclist who's in the bike lane, when they come to the intersection, to pull in front of the vehicles.
Gotcha.
So that they're visible by the drivers. And so that will allow them, when the light turns green, to move forward, and there isn't that issue of vehicles not seeing them.
Here's my other question. What is the psychology behind the color green on paint? There's got to be a reason for that. Why does that capture people's attention?
It's bright, and it's something that you're able to see easily. It doesn't blend into the color of the asphalt or the background that it may be against. So it really is something that the drivers can see.
Marisa, the story of Earl Gage in the documentary is such a heartbreaker. You see lots of Earls out there riding all the time on road bikes and doing their thing. And it just was so heartbreaking to think, this could be any of us on a bike, because what he described was not all that freakish of an accident. It was just something that happened, and your heart breaks. And so I gotta wonder sometimes, is it better for folks to know the tragedy that can happen on bikes sometimes, to get us to think more about these kind of things? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can think of nothing more nightmarish than being a distracted driver and hitting a person.
Right.
I'm sure it's also nightmarish for the person, but I can't imagine what that feels like for the rest of your life, that maybe you killed someone because you were checking your Facebook while you're driving, or whatever it is that you're doing, making a phone call. So I think that there needs to be kind of an attitude shift in terms of really being alert and being respectful of everyone who's around you. no matter what they're doing. You know, we're looking at this a lot from like this kind of fault-based place. It's like, is it your fault because you were a cyclist and you didn't completely stop at a stop sign? Is it the driver's fault? It's like, it really comes down to having an awareness, being sharp, being respectful, and being patient when you're driving. You know, I mean, it's going to take you 20 extra seconds to let that person cross the street.
Right.
You got to do it. I mean, you're going to be 20 seconds later to your destination, but who cares? You know, like, you really, it all comes down to like huge consequences coming out of minute decisions, really small decisions that we make as we're going about the course of our daily life.
You know, Dawn, interesting the graph in the doc with showing what happens at 20 miles an hour, 30 and 40 and 50, and how fatalities, of course, correspondingly go up with those speeds. So high speed stuff's an issue here. And when I think about the public discussions for the new ART system on Central, part of that is slowing down traffic. And as a cyclist, I know how I feel about this. When someone's just right off your shoulder about 2 feet going about 40 miles an hour, that's a vastly different sensation than somebody going about 20 miles an hour. You're all for lower speeds, I'm going to imagine.
Yeah, I'm all for lower speeds. I'm all for, you know, let's make this multimodal. Let's take some of these streets and they're designed for a lot of traffic, but that means during slow periods that you can go really fast. I mean, university's designed to carry a whole bunch of traffic from at 9 in the morning at 5, but then the rest of the time, every night I'm right off that. Every night I'm right off that. And there's people going 60, 70, 80 miles an hour because it's nobody on there.
Right.
You know, it's the crotch rockets zooming down University because they can.
That's right.
You know,
I've had that happen to me even on Rio Grande. To me, the most safe bike lane in Albuquerque is on Rio Grande. But I've had people go about 60 miles an hour past me on that road as well. So this idea of speed, what's your sense of it? Are you working with the city to try to get folks to just lower speed limits all over town where you sense bikers are going to be? How's that working out?
No, I can't say that Bike ABQ is really advocating in that mode. What we are doing is looking at what the city's planning and making recommendations. Having bike lanes, buffered bike lanes. Martin Luther King is going to have that. And hopefully that'll be a good test because a buffered bike lane puts a space between the cyclist and the motorist. Also, for what it's worth, there is a 5-foot passing rule. They shouldn't be passing 2 feet by you there.
That's right.
So speed is an issue. Buffered bike lanes would help.
There you go. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But wow, let's go check out the rest of the film, Hikers, Bikers, and Automobiles, to hear more of Earl Gage's story, who we mentioned, and learn about technology and design elements that can increase safety for bikers and walkers all over the city.